Hey everybody, what's happening? Thought about doing a whole video, but I was like, I'm just gonna do a live. It is Friday night live, and we'll just see what happens. Maybe someone will join me, maybe someone won't. If not, I'll just start talking. Obviously, there was some not great news in 49ers world, and that's Deommodore Lenoir being arrested for a misdemeanor obstruction of justice. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. I From what Matt Mayoko has said, talking to his friend who's a prosecuting attorney, he doesn't have to show up for his court hearing, which is July 20 something. And he can send his attorneys, his representation can go represent him. And so he doesn't actually have to show up for the court date. He can stay at training camp. I do know that he's going to be there for that. So hopefully it doesn't amount too much. Hopefully, it's a lesson not to obstruct justice, to not mess around with cops, maybe not hang out with guys who have guns in their cars. I don't know. I just hopefully. Um, so, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a huge problem, but the 49ers, are looking into it. And also, the NFL could suspend him for conduct detrimental to the league or, having a being with somebody who had a concealed weapon. I don't think they can do that because it's not his. Um, but always better to associate with people that don't do that. So, um, just my thought. Anyways, Diam Lenor again was arrested Thursday night, was released Friday morning. Obstruction of justice. Apparently, cops. I don't know. The whole beginning of the situation is very foggy. So, um, I don't know why they had pulled them over or whether they were pulled over and they went up and they saw the gun in the car. So I'm sure there'll be more clarification as we get along, with as it kind of goes along. But as of right now, that's all we all know. So the 49ers are going to look into it more. And then I guess we'll kind of learn a little bit more as we go along. So if you have any questions at all, please drop it in the chat and I can address any questions that you have. I did just get back home from Titans University in Nashville. It was a great time. George Kittle is just a ball of energy, and it's always fun to see George Kittle at Titans University. George Kittle, Travis Kelsey, Greg Olson put the whole thing on, and um, it's a 3-day event. I'm kind of bummed that there were not 2 days of field work because that's the way it's been in the past. Opening day, everybody comes in and registers. They go to the gifting suites, and man, the swag that everybody got. Unbelievable. Just in boots. There was necklace making for the ladies. This is an event, and there are not many that are like this. I think this might be the only one like this, where it's a workshop for the position, and then the wives and girlfriends are allowed also or invited also. So there are IVs for recovery every day. There was a ton of products. Chubby's is a huge sponsor. G Fiber from Google. I think I posted a bunch of different videos on my Instagram. Dude Wipes. There was a local juice bar that gave juice shots and acai bowls, and there were New Era was there doing hats, putting patches on hats that tied into you hats. Um, there was necklace making. There was Old Spice was there. There was Gatorade. There was just a ton of sponsors. There's a cold plunge tub, red light therapy, a sauna. Um, and you could try all of these things out. There were IVs on one day. The girls got free facials, Botox, fillers, whatever they wanted to do. They got a ton of products. It's just a amazing event. So that's the first day. They have a reception. I'm not allowed to go to the reception at Zero Media, unfortunately. So that is where Taylor Swift made her first appearance with Travis Kelsey. Obviously, Greg Olson and his family were there. George and Claire Kittle were there. All the tight ends. I posted some videos on the short videos, and it showed Mac Jones was there. Huge 49ers kind of reunion. Mac Jones, Brandon Allen, Tanner Mordecai, CJ Beathard is a lifer. Tons of tight ends from the 49ers. Luke Farrell, got to talk to him for the first time. NBC Sports Bay Area, we're putting out 49ers Talk on Monday, and I had a one-on-one interview with Luke Farrell. First time he's talked to any media from the 49ers at all yet. So we do have that coming up on 49ers Talk. Mason Pline was there. Braden Willis was there. Ross Doley was not, because he just had a baby. Charlie Warner, Jordan Matthews, a ton of tight ends from around the league, but just a huge event. So first day is reception. Second day, they have they can go to the gifting suite, get IVs, get juice shots, a little breakfast. They can get chiropractic work, massage, and then there's classroom work. So that was Tuesday, classroom work for a couple hours. They had breakfast, then they had lunch, and then they did on-field work. So normally classroom and field work happens 2 days. This was just 1 day from 10 to 5. They were on the field doing drills, and then I did show a lot of videos. I got some videos of that, but lightning struck. And so lightning pushed everybody off the field. They had to go to the indoor facility where media was not allowed again. I was the only 49ers beat writer there. There were a couple guys from the Tennessean, but ultimately just me basically from the 49ers. They went inside, and then they kind of slowly came out. So I did talk to Luke Farrell and then George Kittle, spoke to them, and then they all went home, showered. And then that night was the concert where a ton of country artists performed. I'm not a huge country fan, so I apologize for not knowing everybody. But there were a bunch. Nico Moon, Ernest, Kane Brown, and of course Taylor Swift. So I did see Taylor Swift. She did "Shake It Off," one song. She was up with the tight ends. So tight ends and family were all in the balcony area, and then everybody else was kind of down on the main level, which is where I was. But great show. So that was Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, you could go do recovery again, facials, blah, blah, blah for the ladies. Oh, on Tuesday, the women had a ladies' luncheon. They had shopping, everything. So separated activities. And then the guys had a golf tournament, and the women had a fine jewelry kind of activation. So fun stuff. Walking off the plane in Nashville, I rolled my ankle 3 weeks ago walking in minicamp. I've been walking on it for 2 weeks. Walking off the plane in Nashville, my calf vibrated and snapped. So I could barely walk. And I hobbled around, got my credentials, and then had a couple people look at it, and they're like, you should go to the ER. So I went to the ER. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with my calf. It's not my Achilles, thankfully. But they told me I have a broken foot. I have a fracture in my ankle, kind of like Fred Warner, walking around on it for 3 weeks. Anyways, doing better now, but made it back home, and great time at Tight Ends U. Let's see, what do we have for question-wise? Kittle is a beast. He is. Watching him do drills versus everybody else, you see why he is an all-pro. You see why he is as explosive as he is. He works at it. He works at it a ton, and he's really good at it. Luke Farrell, a little bit slower, not as dynamic, but I think he's going to be a really good pass protector and run blocker. Now, he's gotten good grades. I looked up his PFF grades, and he's got really, really good pass protection grades. His run blocking grades are not as great, but I have a feeling that being next to George Kittle and then learning what he's supposed to do from Chris Forster, offensive line coach, what everybody around him, he's going to become a much better run blocker. So a lot of that has to do with coaching. A lot of it has to do with, what his responsibilities are. So he told me that it's been an adjustment, and it's going to be more of an adjustment. He said, it's terminology. Every time guys go from one team to another, might be the same thing, but there's a different name for it. So he's excited. He says the Niners are a place he wanted to land because everybody that's been through the facility, everybody who he's spoken to that he knows from the 49ers, he understands that the franchise treats their players really well. He loves how they operate, just everything about the facility, from coaching staff to players to the locker room. He said he's heard nothing but good things, which is why he ended up with the 49ers. Let's see. Did I see Taylor Swift? Yes, for one song. She did Shake It Up with Kane Brown. Kane Brown had a tambourine and he brought her out and she did one song and everybody went absolutely nuts. Let's see. Greetings from West Texas. Hello from West Texas. Mason Pline was at TEU. Yeah, awful with the ankle, fractured. So then they gave me a walking boot and crutches, which I'm hobbling around in, and it's getting dark because the sun's going down. I'll put a light on in a sec. So yeah, gave me a walking boot and crutches.